From Dallas, Texas, the flash, apparently official, President Kennedy died at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Why are you a conspiracy theorist? And I said, why isn't everybody a goddamn conspiracy theorist?
This is the real research. Literally have an alien base, and they are literally communicating.
I don't have a whole lot of time.
Have you personally had any experience with interdimensional beings?
What we're thinking of as aliens, they have infiltrated a lot of aspects of military intelligence. And they are not what they claim to be.
We leave you much that is undone.
That's one small step for man.
There are great ideas undiscovered.
Visit asteroids, visit the moon of Mars.
Remove one of truth's protective layers.
There's a monolith.
They want the major population centers wiped out.
Will you put your left hand on the Bible and swear to God that you walked on the moon?
One giant leap for mankind.
Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened.
Those challenges are yours.
We don't have time for a meeting of the Flat Earth Society.
There are places to go beyond belief. Beyond belief.
Hello and welcome to the Daily Conspiracy Podcast. We don't take days off because reptilians don't take days off. How you doing, Ollie?
I'm all right, lad. I've been painting the never-ending fucking fence today.
Look, mate. There's only so long as like a person that has been known to paint things from now and again. And by now and again, I mean every fucking day. I can't listen to this bullshit about your fence any longer, mate. I don't. No, because I know how big your house is. I know how big your garden is. I also know that painting that fence is a day's work.
It's a different house, this.
No, you showed me a picture of your garden. I know how big your garden is.
It seems to suck the paint out of it like a prostitute sucks a cock.
That fence is a day's work, lad.
Well, you need to come over, mate.
Look, I'm sure there's plenty of things that need done in your house that could do with a man's touch, but I cannot be on call for this.
And the insults start. Here we go. Fuck you. However, we have got things to plug.
We do have things to plug, and for once, not buts. I want people to go and vote for us on the British Podcast Awards. The link is in the description of this podcast. In fact, it's in the link of all the podcasts. The description of all the podcasts with the link. That's what I meant. All you need to do is go on the website, go to the listeners category, put our name in, click us, you will get an email. I have been reliably informed by some listeners that email has come to them and gone straight to the spam box. So make sure you check your spam box. Because if you don't reply to their email saying, I really do want to vote for them, which is retarded, if we're all honest, the vote's not cast. So, but this makes it extra important that you do that, because how many other podcasters out there are stupid enough not to realize this and not to tell their listeners to check the inbox in their emails? I bet there's people out there losing hundreds of votes, thousands of votes, millions of votes. So we can do this. Like, we can win this.
You can do this.
Thing.
You, the listener, can get us there.
Yeah, like through your work effort, we can gloriously take all credit for your work.
If you build it, we will come.
But you might have to tickle the sack a little bit.
Well, obviously, yeah.
It's like, can't
only a little bit though.
Can't have it all shaft. The basement's got to get some action.
Also, for our patrons, we haven't forgotten. I was away last week on holiday. So this week, was it last week, Lee?
I don't know.
No, I was back last week before, but we thought we'd give you enough grace, enough time. So we did mention it last week, but we will be doing the live show this Saturday, 10 p.m. UK time. I think that's 5 p.m. Eastern. So yeah. There you go.
If you want to get involved with that live stream, you need to go and sign up to our Patreon. It is $5.99 a month. If you sign up as a free to the free feed, and then sign up to the Patreon from that, you will get a 15% discount, I think, on your first month. So that's a little incentive to go and join the live stream for the first time. But it's really good fun. There's some I know some people have got some questions for us. I forgot what they are now, to be perfectly honest, but it'll be people have been messaging and say, yeah, I really want to talk to you about this on the live stream. So yeah, and then what we'll do is usually me and Ollie have a natter for about half an hour, replying to some of the comments in like the live comments that come in. And then for the last half an hour, 40 minutes of the show, we will chuck a link out so some of you can jump on with us. So like, feel free if you're that way inclined and you don't mind your face being there for everyone to see and your voice being there for everyone to hear, you can throw yourself on and speak to us.
Absolutely.
What
we starting, Willie? What we starting with? We've plugged away.
We've plugged. Everything's plugged. So Tulsi Gabbard was on. I think it's a Ben Johnson, if you want. Was on his show the other day, and Tulsi Gabbard started talking about Project Mockingbird, and I think this is fucking insane that this has come up like this. So let's have a listen to what Tulsi said on his show, and then we'll kind of go from there.
The media being used as a propaganda mechanism, we saw it flatly. I mean, I think it's the smoking gun, quite frankly, of the Obamagate narrative and the Russiagate narrative, that it was so baked in that the New York Times and Washington Post went and ran with it. Some would say that that's part of Operation Mockingbird. Some would say that that's part of what we learned in the Church Committee, that the intel agencies were using media outlets as their mouthpieces, and that those mouthpieces would parrot the official narrative. And I wanted to ask you, is this operation still going on? Are you aware of the intel agencies working directly with media outlets in order to push prescribed narratives that may or may not be true?
It's something that we've already had to deal with, Benny, within this administration, where there are people within the intelligence community who believe that their will is more important than the will of the American people, and will weaponize intelligence by leaking it to their friends within the mainstream media with the intent of undermining President Trump's agenda. It is not one that he hasn't already talked about in every rally and town hall that he did throughout the campaign. I don't even know how many there were, but President Trump is enacting the very thing he promised the American people he would do in this election. So people in the intelligence community, they may agree, they may disagree. That's not the point here. As intelligence professionals, as people who work in the national security space, in the intelligence community, they are required to fulfill their mandate to their oath to the Constitution of the United States, and to the President of the United States, who was duly elected by the American people. Those who leak intelligence to their friends in the mainstream media with the intent of undermining the president who was elected by the American people, none of these intelligence professionals were. They are subverting the will of the people and therefore undermining the Constitution.
It's wild that you're still having to deal with that. Call it what you will. But Operation Mockingbird, just incredible that they were just out with it, that they were using the media as government organs to push propaganda, and it's still happening today.
This is why what we're doing is so important, Benny, and this is why President Trump's mandate in this is really critical, is by exposing the truth, by exposing the bad actors within the intelligence community and in the political space, who are weaponizing intelligence to advance their own political interests is so important. To be able to turn the light on in places that have been dark for far too long, expose the truth, and drive accountability. That's the only way that we can actually shift this and begin the work to try to restore trust in the intelligence community.
So this got me thinking, Ollie.
Let's say, explain that to me like I'm a retard.
That's an incredibly easy task. What Tulsi's saying is that because obviously she is isn't she head of the CIA now? But either way, she knows and has been presented to her that Project Mockingbird was fully in operation, still in operation, still going. For those that are uninitiated and looking at your frown, I'm going to take you as the uninitiated, Ollie.
Thank you.
Project Mockingbird was a conspiracy theory that the U.S. government put in, and I've see to preface this, I believe this goes far beyond the U.S. government. I think all governments do like a Project Mockingbird. It was just the Project Mockingbird was the code word for what for the U.S. side of things, where they control the media. They put stories out. They have, they said they were going to infiltrate media organizations, pop culture organizations. I mean, for me, this goes as far as like when you look at 60s rock stars, and it's like all of a sudden it's like, oh, the Frank Zappa's father was involved in MK Ultra. Who's your singer from the Doors? I forgot the singer from the Doors' name.
Oh, fucking what's his name?
His father. Anyway, his father was a CIA agent. There's a ton of people like the Grateful Dead. Yeah, Jim Morrison. I forgot who was going to say them. The Grateful Dead, like heavily involved in like the U.S. government and CIA, and it was like lots of people said they even just the spreading of like acid, the way it goes was like they did it through the Grateful Dead, which is a fucking great two band names I fucking love. I love the Grateful Dead and I love the band name, and they shall know, and you shall know us by the Trail of the Dead. Fucking awesome band names, but I digress. And then that got me thinking, how much of the current media can we take? And I mean of all media. I mean this. I mean like mainstream media, of which we know 99, if not 99.9% is fucking bullshit. But how much of the alternative media can we take? Like when we look at these like figures, like I like Tucker Carlson. I want to like Tucker Carlson. He seems like my type of guy, but like his father was in this was in the FBI. I'm sure it was the FBI, not the CIA. It was either CIA or FBI, and he fucking tried. Like he went for an interview, and they supposedly knocked him back, and he became like one of the most famous journalists in the world. Probably the most famous and recognizable journalist in the West. Yeah. Is that a coincidence? Did they take him on? Was that his job? And was becoming that journalist his job?
Well, I mean, if you look at a lot of these people, it goes back in their families, doesn't it?
Yeah.
There's people in their families that, like, take Stephen Greer, for example. There's people in Stephen Greer's family. Like, I think Stephen Greer's dad was it his uncle? I can't remember. Did something to do with the module that landed on the moon. I don't know. I mean,
I had no idea about that.
Yeah. That's true.
That's wild.
Like, these people have parents, relatives that have done something like something big, You know, all of them, and I don't think that's I don't think that is by coincidence. I think I think some of this stuff is handed down. You know, trust the family.
See, I mean, Stephen Greer himself. I mean, we covered it a few months ago, didn't we? When we had that letter that came out, I think it was first brought on Danny Jones's podcast. When you had the guy from Museum of Terror was on Danny Jones' podcast, and it was a letter from Stephen Greer back when he was at university campus. I don't think he was a student. I think he might have been a lecturer. I'm not sure. I know he was head of the LGB before the T's and the Q's and the pluses and the AIs got involved. And it was a letter written by Stephen Greer talking about acceptance of their sexuality. I have no fucking issue whether Stephen Greer is gay or not.
No.
And to be perfectly honest, there are some of his mannerisms and his characteristics, and maybe he's maybe the way he enunciates some of his words, that if it turned out that the guy was gay, it might fucking explain a few things. But what I do tend to think is when you've got people, because I mean, let's say Stephen Greer is gay. I don't know why anybody would still be in the closet now in 2025. It doesn't seem.
His wife might not know.
Well, yeah, I mean, if his wife might not know, that's fair. But what I mean, but this is a long time. You know, the guy was gay before he met his wife, so there's clearly
allegedly.
Well, yeah, no. If this is true, though, I don't think it's.
I think I have the clip right on the end of my nipple. If you want it.
Yeah, you can hit us with the clip. Then at least we're adding some context to this.
Okay, I think this is the clip anyway, but it is the guy, but he's so here we go.
Yeah, some of the stuff Greer says is so crazy, and he's like a guy who he's really easy to dismiss.
Let's see, I've got that printout papers there for you.
Which ones?
It should be below the rain sown stuff.
These.
Yeah, if you want to pull that up.
But I mean, he's been on this stuff for so long.
He has, and he's never produced anything of actual worth. There you go. There's a good one. I thought you might appreciate that. May not be something you want to put.
Emily and Stephen Greer, Haifa, Israel. Emily Kramer and Stephen Greer were married Saturday at Baha'i World Center. The bride is the daughter of Miss Douglas Kramer of Palm Beach, Florida, and the late Dr. Cromler. She graduated from the University of Pennsylvania and received a master's degree in occupational therapy from Boston University. She was employed by the Peace Corps in Barbados. The bridegroom is the son of Mr. and Mrs. James Greer of 1201 Princeton Avenue. He attended the Appalachian State University and is employed in the Information Processing Department at Baha'i World Center. After a trip through Israel, the couple will live in Haifa and work at the Baha'i World Center.
Yep. That's the original marriage notice. Baha'i was regarded as an intelligence gathering operation for Mossad.
And Stephen Greer worked for these people.
And he worked for them. He started with those people. Then he got
This is before he was an emergency room doctor?
You know, I've done a lot of research on Stephen Greer. I don't want to make any claims that get me in any kind of trouble about Stephen Greer, but it doesn't look to me like he had enough time to even do medical school and a residency. And certainly the old newspaper articles don't refer to him as Dr. Greer. It's like he goes right into UFO stuff. So if he worked, there's indication he worked for a very short time at a small hospital in Western North Carolina and then went directly into shilling UFOs for Rockefeller.
Holy shit.
Now, if you go to the next page, that's one you might not want to. Don't say
rights.
No, you don't want to say.
Why can't I say it?
Okay,
rights.
It's your podcast, man.
Rights of homosexuals, opposite opinions, the National AIDS Hysteria Awareness Test. Okay. We thank you for publishing Associated Press coverage of the October 11th March on Washington for gay and lesbian civil rights. However, as part of our 75 marchers from Asheville, we would like to correct the important inaccuracy. Okay, so what is this about?
So that's an op-ed piece that Stephen Greer wrote about himself, and you can see the highlighted portions there.
Okay. Oh, the highlighted portions. We feel that the struggle for our civil rights as gay and lesbian citizens is intricately linked to all struggles against racism, sexism, and anti-Semitism in the country and worldwide. We have fought and died for this country. We are its doctors.
Signed?
Signed by Dr. Stephen M. Greer, M.D. of Asheville.
Yeah, you can cut that short now, mate.
I have absolutely nothing against homosexual rights.
Yeah.
It's quite a long clip.
Shout out to Danny Jones' podcast. Go check it out. That is the interview with the guy from what's the guy's name again?
I forgot the guy's name, but his channel is the Museum of Tarot.
Yeah, he's got a great channel.
Yeah, it's awesome. His TikTok's really good. But yeah, they go on to say about what I was talking about before. And I'm glad it had the Mossad stuff on at the beginning of that too. But what I was going to say was, it's like there's nothing wrong with Greer being gay.
No.
But if he is, and he's kept that secret for so long, but you're expected to believe him about UFOs. I do question, if you've got something as fucking wild as the stuff he peddles, but he can't be honest with people about his own sexuality. I don't understand where that leaves a person, because especially if he is gay and this has gone on for so long, then that means that for whatever reason why he wants to stay in the closet, if that's the case, that means that he just simply wanting that to remain secret like that makes him, in my eyes, highly corruptible. There is leverage. There is leverage there. But the reason I brought Greer up in particular when we talk about this is because if the alternative media has been corrupted by Project Mockingbird, and it's as obvious as Greer. It's not like this was we talk sometimes about how when Rogan got big, maybe they needed to get involved with something really quickly, and that's why we keep seeing these CIA guys turn up on podcasts. Like Danny Jones has got a CIA guy, Julian Dory's got a CIA guy. Julian Dory, and fucking more power to him. But he has at best a mid podcast, and he is about to hit 1 million subscribers on YouTube this month. Right now, he's probably got 1 million subscribers as we do this. This is not jealousy talking here. Of course, I would love 1 million subscribers on anything. I'm not gonna lie to you. However, I see a lot of podcasts out there, not including us. I'm not even including us in the conversation. I see a lot of podcasts out there that are a higher quality with, and I'm not, again, this isn't an attack against Julian Dory, but with maybe a more charismatic presenter that are doing well, 400, 500,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is still incredible. It's incredible for people to get to that number of subscribers, but doing nowhere near as well as him. And the only thing I can see why that his podcast has going for it is he's Danny Jones's friend.
I've watched a bit of Julian Dory. At least there's a few of them
I've watched.
Fine. There were a couple of bangers that I listened to.
No, it's fine. Is it 1 million subscribers on YouTube? Fine.
He just seemed to pop up out of the blue for me. 1 minute, I think it was Ashton Forbes that put him on the map for me.
He had less than 1,000 subscribers. He had less than 1,000 followers. We had We had more.
We had more at the time, didn't we? Yeah.
We had more followers on X than Julian Dorey before he did the Ashton
that,
Forbes thing. Yeah, weird, very strange. But yeah, like the point I'm trying to make is that if Stephen Greer in some way is like a Mossad / CIA counterintelligence guy, how far back has this gone?
Does it go? That's a great question. How fucking far back does it go?
And you see, the other thing that gets me is like, I've got another clip here, like with me saying about how much I like Tucker Carlson, but like, if it does go back this far, then how do we listen to clips like this and take them seriously all of a sudden?
The main thing they want you to believe is the supernatural is not real. Their main interest is in convincing you that the supernatural is not real. Why has that been so important for 80 years for you to convince me the supernatural is not real? Why do you care if I think the supernatural is real? And then you have to ask motive. Like, it's not a profit motive. Like, does it make them rich to deny that there's supernatural forces? No. What is that? And I don't know the answer, but the obvious answer is, well, because they sort of know they're working for supernatural forces, actually. But that they take physical form, that they're not just like some ethereal, they're not just shadows floating around, specters, fog, that they're physical. Like, they're as real as the arm of your chair. People are subject to the supernatural, so they do things that are not natural, like kill themselves. That's why we're the only species that kills itself. Right? So when you kill yourself, whether slowly or all at once, you're being acted on by forces outside of you, spiritual forces, obviously. I'm just trying to apply logic here.
It's a crazy laugh.
Yeah. He's inaccurate there. He's inaccurate. Lemmings kill themselves.
Do they actually kill themselves?
Yeah, they're fucking stupid. They throw themselves off a cliff.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Is it
I don't think they mean to.
Yeah, so it's not suicide. I think would have to be like that, because that's accidental death if you don't mean to do it. But sorry to pull you on a technicality.
That's fine.
But you know I find myself in a sticky situation here, because I'm pretty down with the idea that we are being enacted and our leaders are being enacted on by dark spiritual forces. It's one of although it shouldn't be, it's one of the things.
I've started to believe that there is nobody in power that has a good bone in them anymore. You know, I think they're probably all corrupt.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're probably right.
I think you have to get past a bar, and in order to get past that bar, you have to be corruptible.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're in.
I mean, I find that highly likely in politics, definitely. I think it's almost provable in Hollywood. You know, like you only need to. It depends how far you want to go with it. Like, it does it? You can see now. I mean, now the tide's like turning in a way, but is it turning because that's now the fashionable thing to do? You know, like I've always said, I've always believed, and people that new listeners to this podcast won't have heard me speak about this, but I watched the supposed right-wing party in the UK put together such a weak fight to try and keep power from the left-wing party, which is Labour, in the last election.
Oh God, that was so fucking weird.
You will never convince me that it wasn't Labour's turn and they threw the towel without even fighting for it.
I fucking forgot about that, Lee.
Yeah,
like, because for any of our American audience, it was like fucking political suicide. It was just like he was going, okay, move in Labour.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, because people turn around and say, I know there'll be people listening to this podcast that say, "Oh yeah, but like the Britain was ready for a change; they were going to vote Labour anyway." But only like 9 million people or something like that voted. You know, there was a huge voting bloc that didn't vote. So there was a huge amount of people that wouldn't vote for Labour. So if you wanted, let's say, if you were a cabal and wanted that particular government to come in for whatever reason, then it wasn't like an easy feat. It wasn't like an obvious thing for Starmer to win that election. So you kind of had to destroy the other side on the way out the door. But in the same way as that, like if I'm looking at this like 100 yards sort of stare on it, I see a government now that is doing so badly. They are priming for a supposedly like far right alternative party to take the reins next time. But you could say we've seen this in the US. Like there was no. This is the crazy thing, right?
He's saying it's all orchestrated, basically.
Yeah, because people, if you take the US elections, for instance, where Biden supposedly beat Donald Trump, and it was supposedly rigged, and I will believe that. I'd believe that when Biden got into the office, that graph looks unnatural to me.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, why, if that was the case, why Biden? Why cheat for Biden? You had a man which was slowly losing his mind, not just in office. It was obvious when he took office.
Yeah.
That guy was on his way out. So
maybe
it makes
maybe that's all part of the plan. You know, let's chuck this sponge in. There we go. Watch it
so
crash.
strange.
Watch it burn. They'll beg for Trump.
Yeah,
they'll beg for him.
I don't get it, and it's. I mean, the other thing of that maybe it points even more to the fact that there actually isn't any cabal or any plans or anything like that, because it's so badly organized. If it isn't planned to be this wild, then it's we have not got the brightest in the fucking door.
Well, look at what's going now with the whole Epstein thing and Trump. And
I'm so glad you brought Epstein up, because that's exactly where I want to go after this.
But that it's almost like something is about to fucking pop there, and it's going to turn the whole thing upside down.
Mm.
I could be wrong, but it feels that way. It feels like something is about to give there, and I don't know what that's gonna mean for. I hope Trump's not on that list. I really do.
Ghislaine Maxwell has now been moved to a new prison, a more comfortable prison, which some people are saying is in preparation for her to be given a, what you call it, when you can, like,
pardon.
A open prison. I think it's coming, but the talk is that she is willing to testify, and she'll drop all these big names for a pardon. Yeah. Now the thing is,
all these big names for a pardon. Which names? She's going to leave some names out for that pardon.
Doesn't matter. Even if she only gives 3. If she gives 3 big names, it's enough to start a chain reaction. And in this case, like there's no point in being like all like pious and holier than thou about this, saying no, she shouldn't get a pardon. Like, if she brings some names, she testifies, and that's her deal. This is bigger. She should get that pardon.
I see what you say. I see what you're saying. If
because you can't torture her. Do you know what I mean?
Bigger
Like
fish to fry.
Yeah, you can't. They were doing that in Guantanamo Bay, and people were not happy about it. So you can't drag her into a room and waterboard her until she says Hillary Clinton.
They do this everywhere in the world, though. They bribe them with less time or whatever, or a comfy accommodation or a pardon. This is what they do.
Well, who knows? Maybe that was the plan with Epstein. Maybe the plan is, how are we going to break this case? We take Epstein in, we murder him in prison. We take Ghislaine in, we put her in prison. We leave her there until she's at the point of breaking point. And then obviously they're like, so there's no confidant anymore because Epstein's gone. It's just her. We wait until she's willing to sing.
Mm-hmm. I'd love to be a fucking fly on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
You see what's fucking going on there. See what sort of conversations are going on.
I know it's a toy, Ollie, but you probably want to put that down, otherwise YouTube's going to ping it.
Oh, it's a wooden wooden kitchen knife from my youngest's toy kitchen. Just like to with it.
Yeah, so I know I find it weird, but this I find even fucking weirder. So we will, for those that don't know about this, I've got a quick clip to explain it to you guys. If you're watching this on Patreon, we had to we didn't put the last video up on YouTube because we've been trying to get again inside baseball stuff, but we've been trying to get the audio balance better because the audio podcast needed to be better and needed to be improved. Unfortunately, it's incredibly difficult to record a single show that you can get the video audio right and the audio right without taking the audio and editing it onto the video of the show. And again, because we go 5 days a week and we have to work full-time jobs as well, we don't have the time to edit the video in the morning. I barely have enough time to edit the audio podcast and get that sound
also
nice.
We get fuck all from YouTube.
Yeah, no, well, that's it. Yeah, but I mean, even this goes for the patrons as well, with the patrons for the video, so they get like the raw audio feed that goes up for them. Like we will endeavor in the future to do better audio when it comes to the video, but until more time is freed up, this is kind of there is a balancing act, and we need A1 audio when it comes to the podcast, the audio podcast. And the audio for the video is just slightly worse. So if you're on YouTube, I will see what this is like tomorrow, but there was no point in putting that last episode up on YouTube at all. It was just out to patrons. So what I will say is we will endeavor to bring some free video to YouTube. Patron will always get the video when the podcast's released. So if you are into the video and you want to keep getting the video, then Patreon's the best way to do it. But we will endeavor to bring some sort of video to YouTube, but probably not all the episodes. But yeah, this is interesting. There has been this weird orange smudge that was seen on the Epstein video. I'm going to play an article from The Sun, which is going to explain it to you now. But realistically, it's not this artifact I want to bring up. There's something else later that ties it into Project Mockingbird, but I'm going to play this first for context.
A mysterious orange figure has been spotted lurking around Jeffrey Epstein's jail cell the night before his death. Surveillance footage showing Epstein's final moments has thrown up more questions than answers, with police video experts now revealing a bombshell new theory around what the orange blob may be. A pixelated orange block can be seen in the CCTV video released by the US Department of Justice earlier this month. The shadowy object moves up some stairs, and as it gradually appears taller, it stays in shot for several seconds. It then heads in the direction of Epstein's cell block at the Metropolitan Correctional Center at around 10:40 p.m. Just hours later, the 66-year-old convicted sex trafficker was found hanged inside the cell with his death ruled as a suicide. Officials initially said the orange person was a prison guard carrying linen or inmate clothing up the stairs. A report into the findings at the time concluded the figure was the last time any corrections officer approached the only entrance to the tier in which Epstein was housed. However, forensic experts who have analysed the video in recent weeks have a different take on who the figure could be. They told CBS News as part of an investigation into the jail footage that the figure may have actually been an inmate. Conor McCourt, a retired NYPD sergeant and forensic video expert, agreed that the orange would have been from a prison jumpsuit, but he believes the figure is clearly wearing the outfit rather than just holding it. This theory would go against the FBI's conclusions that no one entered or exited Epstein's cell as they were not caught on camera. Video forensic expert Jim Safford argued to say that there's no way someone could get to that up the stairs into his room without being seen is false.
So, that's interesting anyway.
So that was just before he died.
Just before he died. But the reason I find it even more interesting, like than just what this like weird footage is that if you Google mysterious orange shape, what did I say? Mysterious orange shape. We have The Independent. Questions arise about Epstein's jail from this is from The Independent in the UK. Questions arise about Epstein jail cell death. A mysterious orange shape seen in surveillance footage. Yahoo.com. Mysterious orange shape raises more questions. Facebook News. Mysterious orange shape seen on surveillance footage. The Economist. Jeffrey Epstein's death mystery deepens as mysterious orange shape seen ascending stairs. New York Post. Mysterious orange shape spotted near Jeffrey Epstein's cell. The Times of India. Mysterious orange figure was spotted near Jeffrey Epstein's cell. The Daily Mail. Mysterious orange shape on the last known footage of Jeffrey Epstein. The Mirror. Mysterious orange shape near Jeffrey Epstein's jail cell in final video. Unilad, because I'm just going through the top things. We're already onto the second page of YouTube research results here for mysterious orange shape. Unilad, expert breaks down mysterious orange shape on Jeffrey Epstein footage. We go on. The Inquisitor News. Mysterious orange shape seen in Jeffrey's last video. Now,
the Daily Conspiracy Podcast, Monday's episode, Mysterious Orange
Shape. Right, so I get we can go with this whole thing of people will go, if you want to rationalize it, go, oh well, one place puts an article out, then everyone follows. I'm not having that, I'm afraid. Because realistically, like it's orange shape, there's an orange shape on there.
Yeah.
But the fact that the word mysterious is used in each and every one, this means one of two things, Ollie. This means either there is a memorandum put out to these places saying, look, we want you have to do an article on this Jeffrey Epstein thing. We want this to hit the news like big time, everywhere. You need to use these keywords, or the even
mysterious orange and shape.
Well, the even more terrifying thing, Ollie. What if all our news is AI written now? Anyone that uses AI will know it has trigger words. So there's not trigger words, but there's certain, like, especially if you do like a lot of stuff. Like we use AI, and I purposely tell it to exclude certain words because it'll use really flowery language. Like what was one it would like to use? I can't remember. There was one word which would pop up all the fucking time, and it was just it always looked strange in a sentence. So I got it to exclude those words when I was using AI. That's the only thing I can. That's the only rational thing I can come up with. But if AI is like writing a lot of the articles that you read every day that you think are written by human beings, that's perfect for Project Mockingbird. Because you don't even have to corrupt the people. You just tell it what you want.
Well, you know, the interesting thing for starters, I think you've just fucking pulled a blinder there. You heard it first on the Daily Conspiracy podcast, people. I made Lee think of that, though. He didn't do that himself.
I had it prepared, Ollie.
No, I'm blown away, mate. I am. Genuinely, I think... What was the whole thing that they did during COVID? This is an insult to our... No, this is a danger to our democracy.
I think what you're referencing there, Ollie, is... Oh, fuck, I just deleted it rather than bring it up.
Well, all the news channels said that together, didn't they?
Yeah, we got it.
You got it, have you? Yeah. Remind me of that strange time.
All comes back to COVID.
All roads lead to fucking COVID.
There we go.
It was COVID, that wasn't it? Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
It was it kind of. It was all the news channels talking about alternative media, I believe, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Sharing of biased and
false news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets aren't true without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think, and this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Sharing of biased and
wild.
Crazy.
Wild clip.
What if not one of those news presenters is a real person? What if it's all been fucking AI?
No,
for
years. I don't.
No, I know.
Yeah, the only reason I won't do that is because I think this is so fucking out there that I think when you start going down those roads, it cheapens what you're trying to say. Do you know what I mean? It makes it easily ridiculed because then the headline becomes, "Oh, conspiracy theorists think all news readers are AI," and it's like, no, I think they're being given a script. But
I think it could end up being it could end up being AI, like not necessarily the people, but when you start reading articles.
Well, this was a similar thing. This was from Congress members, wasn't it? So this is a very similar situation.
That ain't true.
That's what you just said.
Since day one of Donald Trump's presidency, prices are up, not down. Inflation is getting worse, not better. Prices of groceries, gas, housing, even eggs. He's letting Elon Musk take a chainsaw, giving him access to America's most sensitive data. Your social security numbers, tax returns, thousands of social numbers. He's frozen federal funding for
cancer research, veterans service, payments to family farmers, and so much more. Why? Republican plan is very simple. Families lose, while billionaires win. And that's the truth.
That ain't true.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Fucking, as you would say, wild.
So this is the thing, and this is unfortunately it's going to be one of those podcasts which don't. There's no real fucking answer to any of this shit.
Okay. No, I agree with what you were just about to say there, but with the Epstein thing, what they're playing at them, what's with the mysterious orange object?
What
do they want us to think? What do they want us to?
I just think they just want us to talk about it for some reason. I reckon that's something as mundane as, like someone said, there was like first of all, if they wanted us to know the truth, they wouldn't have cut a minute of that footage out. There is a minute missing from that video. You can do a lot of things in a minute.
Yeah.
I can have sex 5 or 6 times. The fact that you only remember 3. But yeah, the fact that they've took that out shows so there's something's being hidden. However, I think what's happened there is that because don't forget that video has been out for a while. I think that video has been out. Somebody spotted inside, like not just like, no, I don't mean like a journalist or something like that. Someone has gone inside of the CIA or FBI, probably CIA. CIA is intelligence, isn't it? The look at this, and they've come forward with this proposal and said we can make this mysterious. And someone's gone, Dave, that's just a fucking blob of orange. You know, it's clearly someone walking up the stairs. You go, yeah, I know it's someone walking up the stairs, but we're going to make everybody talk about it by calling it a mysterious orange blob. Whoever is leaked, whoever has put that into action wants people talking about it. And is it misdirection? Because if you get people talking about something that's just fucking retarded, like, who cares? Do you know what I mean? Like, that's it realistically, there is that video's headline should be inmate spotted in prison in footage of prison.
Well, hang about. That mysterious orange blob going up the stairs. I'm saying that for the algorithm. If we keep saying mysterious orange object.
Good call. It's an incredible threat to our democracy. Carry on.
Yeah. Surely there's another angle.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, this is the wild thing, though.
It showed the other angle of
I
the stairs.
I read today that not only is there a minute missing from that footage, Jeffrey Epstein's cell isn't even in frame. So that footage has been released, and you see the doors there, and I don't know how true this is, but you naturally think, oh, that must be Jeffrey Epstein's cell. And then they say, there's a minute missing of this footage, and you go, oh, well, that means someone's gone in one of those fucking rooms, offed him, and then got out within a minute. Yeah, but apparently, where that orange blob was, you know, in the corner of the footage, it's like down the hall and to the fucking right, or down or downstairs, over across the thing and downstairs. Because you know when they circled that guy in the orange, with the guards, that's Jeffrey Epstein.
So that was Jeffrey Epstein that was circled walking out.
That was being escorted to his cell, I believe so. So so that's what I'm trying to say. If that's Jeffrey Epstein, and I haven't made a complete fucking fuck up of this, if I have made a fuck up about it, tell me in the comments. The algorithm loves it when you hate me. Like, look at the fact that that's downstairs. So if he was being escorted back to his cell,
right,
he's down here. That door is fuck all to do with him. But again, it's the way the information's being presented. Only up until today, when I was doing like the slightest of research for this podcast, when I was trying to get things together, did I realize that wasn't Jeffrey Epstein's cell. That should have been, if they're going to show you that video and say last known footage of Epstein, the first thing you should know is those doors aren't him. It's downstairs. Maybe people did know this. Maybe I'm fucking ignorant. But I tell you what, I feel I should have known that. Media manipulation at its finest, Ollie.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think if you are on the Jeffrey Epstein, because I wanted to bring up the Robert Kennedy Jr. bit, but I think we could save that probably for tomorrow's show.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to play a little bit of a clip from another Danny Jones podcast with our friend Alien Scientist on, talking about Jeffrey Epstein. And this was a bit of a banger. It was a long podcast, 3-hour podcast, and I listened to it the other day, and I finished listening to it today. But here is Alien Scientist talking about Jeffrey Epstein, and here we go.
In those press conferences, the interview, he's standing next to his department, head of the Department of Commerce, which a lot of people are like, who's this guy? I've never seen this guy before or heard of him before. And, I remembered who he was. And I was like, oh, this is Howard Lutnick. Howard Lutnick was the CEO of
When was this?
In the press conference where Trump basically takes questions about Epstein and calls his base stupid for being interested in the Epstein files. He's sitting directly next to...
Is this the one with Pam Bondi?
Yes.
For those watching on video, I would like to know why Jeremy Reese is dressed like... No, but even the way he's dressed like some sort of fucking
gigolo,
crooner from like like some crooner from like that's just finished a 6-month residency of the Las Vegas.
Well, Danny did take the mick a little bit when he first walked into the room with the suit, and then
and a finely waxed chest, I might add.
It is a finely waxed chest. Or maybe he doesn't grow facial hair on his chest. No, nobody grows facial hair on the chest, Ollie. Maybe he doesn't grow. Maybe he doesn't grow.
Don't know. You seem to be growing. You seem to be growing pubic hair in your face because you look like a right cunt now.
No, there's not. There's one in the White House conference room, and then there's another.
Can you find the one where he's talking about Steve, so we can see Howard Lutnick sitting next to him?
Howard Lutnick's sitting right next to him, man. So I was amazed. I said, why is Howard Lutnick covering up for this? And you find out, yeah, this is one of them. I'm not. I know that you can find the clip while we talk about this for a second, but he's sitting next. This is the clip where Trump calls his base stupid. Basically.
I haven't seen this one yet.
He insults his base. So he says, everyone, the people who are interested in this are stupid, and basically calling people silly. Oh, it's old news. Let's not worry about this. It's nonsense. But he's sitting next to Howard Lutnick, and I'm saying, how is Howard Lutnick covering up for all this? And then people have pointed out that, well, Howard Lutnick bought the house right next door to Jeffrey Epstein. That Epstein was running his whole New York operation out of 971st Street. Well, the house next door to it, 1171st Street, was also owned in part through this Comet Trust is what actually owned it.
Leslie Wexner gave that house to Jeffrey Epstein, right?
I believe so. I believe he gave the house to him, or it gave it to him through a series of trusts, but he had this in the background, and then a trust called the Comet Trust sold it to Howard Lutnick. And I'm like, Comet Trust? I never heard of that before. But if you search for anything related to Comet and Jeffrey Epstein, you get the all that QAnon disinfo garbage about Ping Pong Pizza and Comet Pizza and the Pizzagate crap, right? Which I think was I think that was a.
I know what you're gonna say.
That's wild assertion.
What with the Pizzagate?
The fact he's gonna go do this, and he's just about like, the QAnon had nothing to do with the Pizzagate thing. Pizzagate thing was completely separate. If anything, I think the QAnon was launched as to tie it to Pizzagate. The Q drops didn't. Wait, they weren't. Although you could tie them into the to Pizzagate. Pizzagate was a separate episode to QAnon. For those that don't know, I got pretty deep on the whole Pizzagate thing. So
I know you made me watch that fucking documentary.
Before he goes. Also, I got a message as well the other day from Mouthy Buddha, which some people might know if they got into the Pizzagate stuff. He doesn't really do interviews, but he said he's going to consider coming on this show, which is pretty fucking incredible.
That'd be amazing.
It'd probably be the last thing we ever do, but that'll be a good show to go out on. So, Pizzagate was the the conspiracy that there was a child sex trafficking ring that was being ran out of a pizzeria in Washington called Comet Ping Pong. It resulted in a guy going into the going into Pizzagate, demanding to get to the basement, which the claim at the time was that there was no basement. Anyway, he said he fired one shot inside the building, and that bullet ricocheted and hit and went through the only hard drive in the place in the building. Went through the only hard drive for the computer that was in the back.
Because that was lucky.
It was then it was owned by a guy called DeFantes.
Oh yeah.
John.
Is it Phil?
No, fucking
Philip DeFantes.
Oh, hang on. Let me, because I need to know this.
DeFantes, yeah. Wasn't he like fucking super fucking rich?
Yeah.
I think this is wild though, that this I've forgotten the fella's name that Jeremy's saying is next to Donald Trump, but he bought a house next to Jeffrey fucking Epstein. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is. It's wild. James Alefantis.
That's it.
Yeah, which just it's a complete coincidence. This. But like James Alefantis, it translates in French to child lover. It's just a coincidence. It's just a coincidence. It's nothing like just a coincidence. He ended up taking his Instagram down because there was some fucking crazy stuff in there, including pictures of the basement that like the Comet Ping Pong doesn't essentially have, or isn't supposed to have. There was also stuff of them of people seemingly talking in code about the children in the photographs on his Instagram account. This is all out there. Although he's pulled it down, the internet doesn't forget. There are websites out there which have backed up all this stuff. You just need to go and do a little bit of digging about it. The fact that he owns a pizzeria and he was named like top 3, or he was either top 3 or top 5, one of the most powerful people in Washington D.C. He owns a fucking pizzeria which has ping pong tables downstairs, and he was one of the top 5 most powerful people in Washington D.C. Make that make sense. He also had to change the logo of the shop because the logo of the shop originally had, I believe, what was the boy lover symbol in it, and that was
just a coincidence, though. Lee.
Just a coincidence, and those symbols were released by the FBI as legitimate, like, symbols and code that people were using on the dark web to trade stuff with. There is so much to the Pizzagate conspiracy that has been rubbished by people saying, yeah, and then they thought Hillary Clinton was running children through a pizzeria. I was like, no. You're conflating two different things there, and you're ignoring because that there, you're conflating the Frazzle Drip thing with Comet Ping Pong. Like they are, again, Frazzle Drip and Pizzagate, two fucking completely different conspiracy theories.
We should maybe use code for the Frazzle thing.
Well, I mean, technically it is. It's already code. But yeah, like so for Jeremy, who's I mean, he is I don't know whether he call himself a conspiracy theorist or not. He is.
I mean, his YouTube channel was nearly taken out for some of the stuff that he did with 9/11.
Yeah.
I remember that.
But for him to what I imagine, what I think he's going to do here, because I haven't watched this clip, to just brush that aside as QAnon bullshit. And what he's going to say now is, I think QAnon was a psyop. I also think QAnon was a psyop. But I'm not convinced Comet Ping Pong and Pizzagate was a psyop. I think parts of it were doing. I think that guy with a fucking gun that went into the place, I think that was absolutely a psyop. You don't have a person go into a building, scream about looking for the children, fire one shot off, and have it go through the hard drive of the computer that was in the building. You want to talk about magic bullets? That sounds pretty fucking magic. But yeah, but anyway, carry on. Sorry for the impromptu rant.
You needed to get it out.
Counterintelligence op that was put out right after the Epstein stuff to really distract people.
Vigo was a distraction.
Off. Yeah.
The
QAnon was a limited.
Here it
hangout.
is. Here's the video.
Yeah. I think was a.
What's that hang about you? I'm not convinced.
Is Lee in debunk mode here?
A little bit.
Come on, Mick West. Listen, I'll press play while you find.
Hang on. This is going to take. Right. So he just said, I think that was a. That was a counterintelligence operation put out after the Jeffrey Epstein's arrest. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Pizzagate was 2016. Jeffrey Epstein charged in Manhattan for Manhattan federal court with sex trafficking of minors in 2019.
Oh. Sorry, Jeremy. Lee's got you there. Yeah. His fucking chest is smooth, isn't it?
Fucking smooth as bullshit.
I think that was a counterintelligence op that was put out right after Epstein sold it gave it to him through a series of trusts. But he had this in the background, and then a trust called the Comet Trust sold it to Howard Lutnick. And I'm like, Comet Trust? I never heard of that before. But if you search for anything related to Comet and Jeffrey Epstein, you get the all that QAnon disinfo garbage about Ping Pong Pizza and Comet Pizza and the Pizzagate crap, right? Which I think was I think that was a counterintelligence op that was put out right after the Epstein stuff to really distract people.
Vigo was a distraction.
Off. Yeah,
limited hangout.
A lot of the QAnon was a limited
hangout.
Here it is.
Here's the video.
Yeah. So he's
hit it.
I'm curious, why do you think your
Full
supporters
screen.
in particular have been so interested in the Epstein story and so upset about how it's been handled?
I don't understand it. Why they would be so interested. He's dead for a long time. He was never a big factor in terms of life. I don't understand what the interest or what the fascination is. I really don't. And the credible information's been given. Don't forget, we went through years of the Mueller witch hunt and all of the different things, the Steele dossier, which was all fake. All that.
So the fella next to Donald Trump right now, that's Jeffrey Epstein's next door neighbor.
Yeah.
Is that shit?
That information was fake.
Yeah,
but
stop
I don't
it.
understand.
So, because this is a good point to bring this up. So, I was watching for those people that like watch too much YouTube and that are online too much. You will absolutely know who the creator Asmongold is. I
fucking love Asmongold.
He's my favorite political commentator, and he's not even a political commentator. He's a game streamer. But now, he's a reaction. I don't even know what he is. Because like he plays some video games, but he also does like loads of reaction videos on different stuff. Love the guy. Anyway, he was talking about this very clip, and he said, "I don't know what to think about it." He said, "Of course, I don't want Trump to be involved in this." He said, "But for a guy that's not involved in for a guy that's not guilty of something, he looks incredibly guilty of something."
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that exact clip that you're talking about.
Yeah.
A lot of this does get me thinking. Do you remember when you saw that? Do you ever see the clip with Bill Gates?
Yes. Yeah.
When he says
he's dead now.
But he's dead now,
and
I think that was a message.
Was ripped. I don't think it was a message. You know where I think it was? I think because don't forget, Bill Gates is incredibly comfortable when he goes on to shows, because 10 times out of 10, when he goes on media, I don't know how many people know this, but Bill Gates, after the antitrust lawsuit that went on with Microsoft, his reputation was in the bin. Nobody liked Bill Gates. That you might remember him getting hit with a cream pie outside of a court, I think it was, in New York. He was mud. There was those videos of him when he was being interviewed, rocking backwards and forwards, like he was fucking Hitler on a shit ton of fucking amphetamines. I've thought for years, because I know he bought and still does, if when you look at the Gates Foundation, because people say, oh yeah, well, the Gates Foundation puts money into a load of media and newspapers and television companies and stuff like that, and it absolutely does, but they forget the reason why. And the reason why was his reputation was so low that they had to try and they spent fucking hundreds of millions, probably billions by now over the years, because they're still paying these people.
I think that was why it wanted it to get in with the Xbox thing as well.
I think that's what I was going to get to. I think it's one of the prongs they did. So they paid off a load of media outlets to say nice things about Jeffrey Epstein, to start referring to him as a person of authority, because all of a sudden they're this fucking cracked out fucking coder, which built a usable operating system that I would still argue, although it is ubiquitous, and if you want to do stuff, you kind of need to have a Windows machine now for all of the things. Even though Macs will do a lot of the things now, you still find yourself in a situation now and again where you need a Windows machine.
You need a bit of Gates.
Yeah, I'd still argue that if you take Mac OS, Linux, and Windows, it's still the third best option. If you're just going for usability and features, it's third by a way as well. But I think the launch of the Xbox was part of this media buyout to rejuvenate his image, get him on stage with The Rock, bringing it putting a video game console out. Then you had all the media companies out there referring to him like he was a genius, which he is. This isn't me trying to say that Bill Gates is stupid. He's clearly not stupid. But I tell you what, he isn't. He's not a climatologist, and he's not a fucking health expert. But yet, that's all he talks about. Tell me the last time you saw him on an interview talk about coding, which is actually what he knows about.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's show 1 minute of him on an interview, just to remind people.
Yes, let's.
Was reported at that time that you had a number of meetings with Jeffrey Epstein, who, when you met him 10 years ago, he was convicted of soliciting prostitution from minors. What did you know about him when you were meeting with him, as you've said yourself, in the hopes of raising money?
I had dinners with him. I regret doing that. He had relationships with people he said, would give to global health, which is a interest I have. Not nearly enough philanthropy goes in that direction. Those meetings were a mistake. They didn't result in what he purported, and I cut them off. That goes back a long time ago now. So there's nothing new on that.
It was reported that you continued to meet with him over several years, and that, in other words, a number of meetings. What did you do when you found out about his background?
Well, I've said I regretted having those dinners, and there's absolutely nothing new on that.
Is there a lesson for you, for anyone else looking at this?
Well, he's dead, so in general, you always have to be careful.
Are you sure about that, Lee? That it's not a threat? Listen to the question she asks.
Having those dinners, and there's absolutely nothing new on that.
Is there a lesson for you, for anyone else looking at this?
Well, he's dead, so in general, you always have to be careful. And I'm very proud of what we've done in philanthropy. Very proud of the work of the foundation. That's what I get up every day and focus.
So I don't think it's a threat. I think it's a very awkward person that doesn't actually know how to speak to people. Can you bring that back up for a second?
Yeah.
Take it back to like around about the middle. Oh yeah, that should be good, right? Hit play.
So there's nothing new on that.
It was reported that you continue to meet with him over several years.
Right.
And that, in other words, a number of meetings.
Stop. Because that's perfect. Like, drag it back to where you stopped it just before. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Right. She's going to say, you met him. Yeah, you continue to meet him for a number of years, and you see him shake his head, and she tries to rescue it by saying, "Oh, so it was a number of meetings." Watch it, because she tries to rescue herself, because that shake of the head was like, "What the fuck are you saying there, bitch? I'll have your fucking family killed in front of you."
Yeah,
watch it.
Saying.
So there's nothing new on that.
It was reported that you continue to meet with him over several years. And that, in other words, a number of meetings. What did you do when you found out about his background?
He didn't like that.
And, I've said I regretted having those dinners. And there's absolutely nothing new on that.
Is there a lesson
we can
for
stop
you,
that now, Ollie.
for
I just want to see his
anyone else looking at this?
Well, he's dead. So, in general, you always have to be careful.
He's dead now, so you always got to be careful.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. I think I know what you mean. But I don't think that's a threat to anybody. I think it's somebody that knows what happened. And do you know what? I don't even know if he had anything to do with it, and that could very much be like, you could see the delight he had that he was dead. Like, there's a delight in his voice and in his eyes when he's talking about it.
Yeah.
So it was almost like a surprise sort of thing, where it's like, well, I don't know, but fucking lucky one for me, hey. It almost doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how he's dead or why he's dead or who killed him. It's just, he's dead. That's the answer. Like, let's all fucking move on.
Yeah, I really do. I think he's an anomaly. He's Bill Gates. He really is. He's buying he's bought all that farmland. What's he up to?
Well, let me see if I can find something for you.
Bill fucking Gates. My mum loves Bill Gates.
What? Why?
I tried to tell her. She watched an interview with him on the BBC. She says, "Oh, he seems like a lovely man."
Well, that's because he spent fucking billions trying to make people think that. So I've got a clip here from Ninjas.
He does a lot for charity. You do know that.
Yeah, of course he does. I've got a quick clip here from the Ninjas Are Butterflies podcast. Ninjas Are Butterflies. So let's have a listen to these guys talk about Bill Gates and farmland and doomsday.
It's called the Doomsday Map.
Uh-oh.
Basically, like, if there's a giant cataclysm event that happens on Earth and parts of the world floods and like all that sea levels rise, they came out with a map that looks like this.
Oh, wow.
This is America. They do like the whole world. She did some really fun research. She compared what this map looked like to the land that Bill Gates has been buying. all
Shut
the
up.
farmland. He is the majority farmland owner in the United States right now. She took the map of the farmland that he owns and overlaid it onto this doomsday map. Every single dry land piece was occupied by his farmland.
Yeah.
In California, so California is basically completely underwater.
Yeah.
But there's these little pockets of islands. You see those?
He owns those.
That little one right there, that's one of his farmlands.
Yep.
Have you guys seen, it's called the Doomsday?
That's fucking crazy.
Isn't it?
Fuck. What's going on, Lee?
Don't know.
How long we got?
About
That's
10
another
minutes.
thing. That's another thing I wanted to bring up when you were talking about these, them getting the word mysterious orange object or whatever it is. It's the same with this 2027. You're seeing so many different faces saying that number, that year, all over.
Look, I don't think any of this is.
Do you think some of it could be manifesting something? Like, I don't know, that like let's get this out. This is what will happen. This is what they'll do.
I mean,
what do we need to get out? Mysterious orange object. What's that going to do? That's what I don't get. What they're going to get out of it?
Well, this is the thing. I don't think the I don't think necessarily it's about us talking about the mysterious orange object. I just think they want people to talk about Jeffrey Epstein. So there's two things here. I've got a good scenario and a fucking grim scenario, right?
I don't know. Yeah, start with the.
Let's go grim scenario first.
Okay.
Yeah. So grim scenario is that we are heading towards like a status quo. I won't go down Doomsday Road.
Okay.
Because we're too far there. I don't know. We're just going on the Epstein stuff and like Project Mockingbird style. Theory one is that Trump is just as involved as everybody else in this thing. The whole QAnon thing and stuff, because I don't think people take into consideration just how much QAnon at that point and the completely unrelated Pizzagate had to do with Trump getting elected in the first place, and that very well could point to the fact that it was in fact a psyop, and it was a psyop from his team to gain if we refer to these people as like right-wing conspiracy theorists, to get the right-wing conspiracy theorist vote on side. I don't know how powerful that vote is in the US, but that's just an idea. But the theory being that he's involved. He has now come into office under the guise of, I'm going to get everything out. And secretly, he's gone in and gone, is it all gone? Have we cleared it all up? Yeah. Whew. Dodged a bullet there, lads. We need to make an excuse for this now. It's okay. We've still got Robert Kennedy Jr. He was in up to his eyebrows as well. He's going to talk about vaccines. That's going to confuse those people. Fucking Tulsi Gabbard's hot as fucking shit, so we'll stick her in front of a camera, and sooner or later people are going to believe her because they like her anyway. And we'll Cash will have his weird cracked out eyes, and maybe they'll believe him. We'll bring Dan Bongino in because because that base would have listened to Dan Bongino's podcast, and we can smooth all this fucking over. I suppose actually I've got there's three scenarios, but that's scenario one. So bad scenario, and that eventually leads in Ghislaine Maxwell being released from prison because it turns out all of the Jeffrey Epstein files were a dream.
And starting their own cooking program.
However, there's a good side. The good side to this is Trump is still trusting the plan. He's still on there. He's still out there raging war on the deep state with his white hats. And what they've done is in the same way Elon Musk confused Twitter to sell to him when they didn't want to, because he says, I don't really want to buy it anyway, it's overvalued, and then they forced him into buying it. Anyone that doesn't think that was a genius, Yeah, because they were trying to block the purchase. That everyone turned around and said, "Oh, he wasted all this money on Twitter." Twitter were trying to block the purchase at one point as soon as it showed that he was actually going to go through with it. So, in a similar fashion, what if Trump's people are using Trump and the hatred for Trump from the left to demand the release and demand, because enough people weren't asking for it. But now, if you can get the left wing media demanding it, the right wing demanding it, it becomes a non-partisan issue then.
Yeah.
Because the right wanted to clear Trump, the left wanted to put him in prison. Then sooner or later, we're going to get this fucking information if everybody demands it. That's the fucking, like, that's the best case scenario.
And Trump's a hero then.
And Trump would be a hero then.
And him and Elon just go Fulger. We're best friends.
Worst case scenario 2.5. After Dan Bongino left the just left the crew, didn't he? He said later on after he left, like the position he had with the what you call it after he, like,
help you there.
Whatever his job was with Kash Patel, I can't remember. So he left. He was quiet for a bit. He came back. He said his statement was that during his time working, he saw stuff and he would never be the same afterwards. And then he left. Doesn't want to talk about it anymore. Pretending he was never there. Wild stuff. What if? And this is the worst part of it. What if we've got to do this? We have sacrificed people and children, especially, for thousands of years. Thousands of years. All cultures. Go back to the Bible. We were killing kids in the Bible. What if there is something that fundamentally demands sacrifice? And we all talk.
Something needs feeding.
Not even feeding. Just like appeased. Like, you know, if you want everything to go fine, you don't want the Great Reset. We are vengeful gods, and we want this.
Well, people used to sacrifice things all the time, didn't they? People all the time.
Yeah, but you say we used to sacrifice things all the time. What if we haven't stopped sacrificing?
We've never
stuff,
stopped.
Ali? And what if that's the worst part of it is? You get people like Dan Bongino, which were good men, which went in there, listen, Dan, you need to sit down because we have something to fucking show you. We have something to show Cash. We're going to have to read Trump in on this as well now, because there's too much noise being made of it. But, like, we don't do this. We're Tartaria 2.5. That's why you get the turnings, because at some point cultures go, no, we're just not doing this anymore. And then there is another pole shift, another fucking great flood. Because
this is what they said about the whole alien thing, is that there's an agreement to give so many of us over and whatever. What if they're not aliens? What if it's exactly what you're talking about there? It is the
Mount Olympus. It's gods on Mount Olympus.
Yeah,
show me your devotion.
Because that would be the ultimate. That's the reason why we can't fucking take it. Because what if there's fuck all we can do about it? No weapons. There's nothing you can fight these things with. Nothing.
And then the wild thing would be, is that all the time, then when we get dribbles of these stories coming out, and we take people like Obama, we take the Clintons, because they've had to silence people and kill a load of people along the way to keep this secret, and we've treated these people like the enemy for fucking years, when all they do is keep us in blissful ignorance, whilst carrying the heaviest weight.
So you're telling me Hillary Clinton could be a nice lady?
I mean, I'm off the reservation here. Like, I get that. And then, to be perfectly honest, but maybe she's not a nice lady, because how could you be involved in that for decades and keep your sanity?
I mean, it's a dirty job, but maybe someone has to do it.
And then maybe the moves then is to go, well, if we've got to do this, we need to get people in that enjoy it, and then that pollutes your entire political system. Because the people that you get in are the ones that don't mind doing it. And if not don't mind doing it, actually fucking want to do it.
They want to feed the beast.
They want, yeah. Why don't enjoy your work?
Well, everybody should enjoy the work. Wow. That's pretty much what was probably going on. Let's face it. I think you've just
I don't know.
You've been on fire tonight, mate.
Cheers,
I don't know
mate.
what you've eaten for breakfast, but yeah.
Ball. Had a ball of cereal. I think this feels like a good time to wrap
it. Feels
up,
like
Ollie.
a good place, doesn't it? Yeah.
This feels like I mean, it's not the happiest place we've ever left a show, but it's not the most unhappy place. So please leave us that 5-star review on the way out. You heard at the beginning all the stuff we want you to do, like the competition that you need to go and register for to vote for us. There is the Patreon that you need to sign up for if you want to hang out with us next Saturday. There is like a plethora of stuff. Go buy a t-shirt. We never plug the t-shirt. There's a link in the in the description. Our merch looks fucking cool as well. It's because it's just cool enough that you go, that's a cool t-shirt. But it's not like out there enough to go, oh my god, you've got a conspiracy t-shirt on.
They do. They for anybody who's ordered one and not wondering where it is, they do take about a month to arrive. So, but everything good comes to he or she who waits.
Yeah. We'll be back tomorrow, and yeah, I'm sure there'll be more stuff. I'm looking forward to talk about what you were going to bring up tonight, Ollie, but it was a good job you didn't. So
yeah,
there was a lot of
I didn't
stuff.
think it fit. So
No.
I think we
sometimes no matter how hard you force it won't fit.
I agree.
So, right, let's land this ship. Thanks very much, people. Thanks for all of your support. It means the world to us. We had our greatest month in July. It was by orders of magnitude better than any other month we've had, which, considering the changes that have gone in the podcast and stuff like that, and like getting things moving again,
we're building back better.
The fact that you guys are enjoying the content more than you ever had done means the world to us. So yeah, thank you very much, Ollie. Take us the fuck out of this place.
Well, actually, I did want to save this till the end, because I thought he's great. I mean, he's a funny story, but it's a painful story at the same time.
Is this about things not fitting properly?
No, it fit too well, actually.
Oh, okay.
Have you ever, like, you know, when you're in the shower, you shower a lot, don't you? You're not a bath guy, you're a shower guy.
I mean, I prefer a bath to a shower.
Oh, right, okay, I put you down as a shower.
But the thing is, I'm also like 6'2", so I'm not built for normal baths.
I think it was about 6 months ago when I had a bath last.
It's fucking great for you. I mean, you can do lengths in a bath.
It is a pleasure, yeah. I do miss it. But
it took Ollie like 3 weeks to work out because he's got one of those taps that like bends off the side. He didn't really thought it was a diving board for 6 months.
Fuck you. I like my showers fucking hot as fuck, right? I mean, I'm talking like practically burn me, you bastard.
That must be so difficult when you're so far away from the water.
But you know when you've got the soap in the shower, and I've got.
Sorry, I just hit in my head. You showered.
Can I fucking finish?
You showered.
Just take us out.
It's like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
But anyway.
From Dallas, Texas, the flash, apparently official, President Kennedy died at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time.
why are you a conspiracy theorist? And I said, why isn't everybody a goddamn conspiracy theorist?
This is the real research. Literally have an alien base, and they are literally communicating.
I don't have a whole lot of time.
Have you personally had any experience with interdimensional beings?
What we're thinking of as aliens, they have infiltrated a lot of aspects of military intelligence. And they are not what they claim to be.
We leave you much that is undone.
That's one small step for man.
There are great ideas undiscovered.
Visit asteroids, visit the moon of Mars.
Remove one of Truth's protective layers.
There's a monolith.
They want the major population centers wiped out.
Will you put your left hand on the Bible and swear to God that you walked on the moon?
One giant leap for mankind.
Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened.
Those challenges are yours.
We don't have time for a meeting of the Flat Earth Society.
There are places to go beyond belief. Beyond belief.